Okay, this is the Blue Ridge Hunter, one of our more popular models. As far as the production steps go, once we have developed the original design and done the prototyping, we set it up and we cut out the blanks with a water jet cutter. Using the water jet is important because it doesn't change properties of the steel through heating it up. It's all done at a standard temperature where there's no heat transfer. So we will first cut out the parts with a water jet cutter. Then it goes into a rough stock removal area where the portions of the blade that won't become the finished knife, the thicknesses in the bevels and all, are ground away. It goes into a hand grinding operation to where the final dimensions are applied to the knife, and any of the secondary grinds such as the false edge and the rounding of the choil area. From there we take it through a sandblasting step to lightly texture the steel while the steel is still in its soft state. Next will be the heat treating. We're using a salt pot heat treating system where the blades are hung from wires and immersed into a molten salt somewhere in the neighborhood of 1500 to 1550 degrees. They soak for a period of time, then are quenched in a lower temperature salt, which hardens the steel. Once they are complete with that step, they go into once the heat treating is complete, it's time to do the handles. So we have different methods of cutting out handles. We have eliminated the use of band saws in our shop for the most part because of the hazards they pose to our employees and our craftsmen. So we are now cutting out the handles with either a CNC controlled router or a CO2 laser. So we'll cut the handles using basically the same programming as we did to cut the blade blanks, so all the holes line up properly. They'll be glued into place, and then they go back in for the hand operations to do all the handle shaping. It's all done with 2x72-inch grinders, and it's all controlled by the skill of the operator that's doing that process. Once the handles are shaped, they go back into a finishing area to where they get another sandblasting step. That is just to lightly texture and clean up any impurities or any oils that might have gotten on the knife during the processing. We blacken the steel with a black oxide solution. Then we pull it out, dry it off, and on wooden handles we may stain, do a beeswax wood finish or some kind of poly wood finish depending on the material. My cardite and rubber handles, they just get cleaned off and oiled. So after we turn the steel black and the handle finishing is done, they go into a etching process to apply the touch mark on the blade. And from there they go through they go into sharpening. We save sharpening for last so people are less likely to get cut when they're handling the knives. Then to the final inspection process where every detail of the knife is reviewed and checked off by two different inspectors. They'll sign an inspection card assuring that knife is made like it's supposed to be and everything on it is correct. The sheath is formed to that knife. Our sheath systems are such that they have great retention without having any additional retaining straps because we form each sheath to the knife that it goes with, and we use a leather covered thermoforming plastic so it forms perfectly to the shape of that particular knife. This is important because all the hand operations in manufacturing, we do have slight variances in contours and dimensions, so we form the sheath to each knife instead of forming all the sheaths to a pattern, then hoping the knives fit in them. So if you get a knife and a sheath, keep them together. They may not fit if you get another knife, even if it's the same model. Once the sheath is formed and the final inspection is done, it goes into a packaging area where the knife is wrapped and they're boxed, and any extra accessories that go with it are put in the box with it. Then they get ready and they're shipped to the customer.